So let's talk about Ford MyKey. I'm in a few different groups on social media, including Mustangs and F-150s, and for some reason MyKey doesn't really seem to be something that a lot of people really know about, and it's been around for at least 8 years, 9 years that I know of. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about it today. First, what is MyKey? It's a way to take and limit the driver who's using the key that you set up. It's a way to limit what they can do in the vehicle to make it a little bit safer for them to be driving. So what are some of the programmable features? Well, you can change the speed limit of the vehicle, you can put speed reminders, volume control, even make your traction control always on, so that way they can't shut it off and play around with it. So how do you set it up? Well, I'm going to show you. First, if you've got an actual key rather than the push start with the key fobs, you'll take the key that you want to program and start the vehicle. For me, I've got the push to start, so I've got key fobs. This one I want to be my admin. This one I want to be my MyKey. So you can leave both keys in the vehicle. I'm actually going to set this one aside just in case, and I'll show you where to put this one. So for mine, I've got to set this right here to enable the MyKey creation settings. So now we're going to start the vehicle. And we're going to navigate over to settings. We can check MyKey status and see that you have 0 MyKeys and we have 2 admin keys. So that's good. You always need an admin key. So I'm going to create a MyKey now. And we're going to hit OK. And now this key is restricted. So at the next time this key starts up the vehicle, it's going to go ahead and be restricted. I showed you where to put the key fob on a 2019 Ford F-150 Lariat FX4. Some vehicles it's actually in the center console. Other vehicles it's there's a little spot in another part of the console. It just kind of depends on the year and the model. One thing I would suggest, since I know because the keys that are on here that this one is the MyKey rather than my other key that's got a lot of keys with it. But I would suggest labeling it somehow, put a sticker or something on there so that way you know which one is MyKey, which one's admin key. So now what we need to do to limit this key, we need to shut off the vehicle and we need to get the admin key. So let's do that. So I've got the admin key. I just started the truck up, as you can hear. So I'm going to show you how to limit all of your MyKeys. So now we're going to go back into MyKey. MyKey status shows 1 MyKey, how many miles it's driven, and admin keys. You always want to see at least 1 in the admin key. 911 assist, you can change those settings. Do not disturb, I would select that as always on if you've got a teenager, so that way they can't play on their phones as easily. Advanced track, you can do always on. Max speed, you can change it. Ford definitely suggests not to change this to an unsafe speed, so if you have speed limits that are 70 or 75, I probably wouldn't put your highway speed limit at 65. I would probably say 70 for the most part, or 75. You can even do speed reminders and volume limiter. And if you have your admin key, to clear out your keys, it's as simple as going here. And now you have 2 admin keys again. So before ending this video, there's a few important things you should know about MyKey. The setup depends on what type of keys that you have. As I've mentioned, if you've got an actual key, you use the MyKey to turn on the vehicle. If you have key fobs because of the push to start, then there's a specific spot that you need to put that MyKey key fob. If you only have 1 key, do not use MyKey settings and functionality because you need at least 1 admin key. So if you use your only key as a MyKey, then you're going to have to do one of 4 things. You're going to have to either deal with it being limited, buy a new key and use that as your admin key to remove the functionality on the MyKey, or you can go spend $90 at Ford for them to do 30 seconds worth of work to clear it. Or you have to go get the stuff to use what's called ForScan, which is a program that allows you to use a Windows computer to plug into your vehicle and make some functionality changes. And so, you want to make sure that you always have at least one admin key. I can't stress that enough. Another thing to make note of, say you have 3 keys, so you have one admin key and 2 MyKeys. If you have them set up for 2 different people, say you want one person to have a speed limit of 75 and you want the other person to have a speed limit of 65, well, that's not possible. Ford doesn't allow them to be independently programmed. So whatever you program one, they're both programmed the exact same. So just know that for all MyKeys, they're programmed the exact same. Again, if you have a push-to-start vehicle and you have the key fobs, I suggest leaving the admin one out of the vehicle while you are programming. That way it's easier to where you're less likely to get confused on which key is what, or the truck or car or SUV doesn't accidentally program the wrong key. Something else to note is that if your passenger has the MyKey and you have the admin key, doesn't matter who's driving. If you both get in the vehicle, the admin key is the one that automatically takes over. So if you've got a teenager with a MyKey that you've limited their speed to 65 miles per hour, but you get in the vehicle with them and you have your key, their speed limit is now whatever the vehicle allows. It's not set to that mark that you had put it at. So just know the difference, that it doesn't matter which key is programmed. If they're both in the vehicle, the admin key automatically takes over. I've also, in the description down below, included a link to Ford's MyKey website, so that way you can get more information and see what they have to say as well. As always, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.